There is a book that has survived for over 2,000 years, not because it teaches violence, but because it teaches something far deeper: how to think. The Art of War was written by Sun Tzu, a master strategist who lived during one of the most turbulent periods in Chinese history. Kingdoms rose and fell. Armies clashed. And yet, Sun Tzu understood something that most never grasped. The greatest victory is the one achieved without fighting at all. He was not merely a general, he was a philosopher, a student of human nature. His teachings were never just about war. They were about life, about how we navigate obstacles, how we face adversity, how we make decisions when everything feels uncertain. And here is what fascinates me most. The principles he wrote down centuries ago still apply today. Not on battlefields, but in our daily struggles, in our careers, in our relationships, in the quiet wars we fight within ourselves. Tonight, I want to walk through 21 of these principles with you, not as rules to memorize, but as reflections to carry with you. Each one holds a mirror to something we already sense but rarely put into words. So settle in, let the noise of the day fade, and let us begin. The first principle Sun Tzu offers is deceptively simple: know yourself and know your enemy. And in 100 battles, you will never be in peril. But what does it truly mean to know yourself? It is not about listing your strengths on a piece of paper. It is about sitting with your weaknesses, acknowledging the patterns that hold you back, recognizing the moments when fear speaks louder than reason. Most of us avoid this kind of honesty. We distract ourselves. We scroll. We stay busy, because looking inward requires courage. And yet, Sun Tzu tells us that this knowledge is the foundation of every victory. The second principle follows naturally. All warfare is based on deception. Now, this sounds manipulative at first, but consider it differently. Life often deceives us. Opportunities appear as obstacles. Failures disguise themselves as endings when they are actually beginnings. The wise person learns to see beyond the surface, to question first impressions, to pause before reacting. The third principle is one I return to often. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. In your own life, how many conflicts could be avoided entirely? How many arguments stem not from real disagreement but from pride, from the need to be right? Sun Tzu reminds us that true strength is not in winning battles. It is in rendering them unnecessary. The fourth principle speaks to patience. He who knows when he can fight, and when he cannot, will be victorious. There is a time to push forward, and there is a time to wait. Most of us struggle with this. We force things. We rush. We act from anxiety rather than clarity. But the strategist understands timing. Sometimes the most powerful move is stillness. The fifth principle cuts to the heart of preparation. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Think about this. How often do we enter situations unprepared, hoping things will work out, hoping we will figure it out along the way? Sun Tzu tells us that preparation is not optional. It is the difference between confidence and chaos. The sixth principle addresses something we often overlook. In the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. Life will not always be orderly. Plans will collapse. Unexpected events will shake you. But within that chaos, if you remain calm, you will see doors that others miss. The panicked mind sees only problems. The still mind sees possibilities. The seventh principle is perhaps the most practical. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. This is not about dishonesty. It is about strategy. It is about not revealing everything, about keeping some energy in reserve. In a world that rewards loudness, there is quiet power in restraint. Let these 7 principles settle for a moment. They form the foundation: knowing yourself, seeing through deception, avoiding unnecessary conflict, understanding timing, preparing before you act, finding opportunity in chaos, and mastering the art of presence. These are not ideas to rush through. They are seeds to plant. The 8th principle shifts our attention to something subtle: energy. Sun Tzu wrote that the clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. In your own life, this translates to something profound. Stop relying solely on willpower. Instead, build systems. Create environments that support your goals. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Energy compounds. A single disciplined choice leads to another, and another, till momentum carries you forward with less effort than you imagined. The ninth principle warns against rigidity. Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. Be like water, adaptable, fluid. When obstacles appear, do not break yourself against them. Flow around. Find another path. The stubborn mind exhausts itself fighting reality. The flexible mind works with it. The 10th principle addresses the danger of prolonged struggle. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. In personal terms, this speaks to the conflicts we carry for years, the grudges, the resentments, the battles we refuse to release. They drain us. They steal energy that could be used for growth. Sometimes victory means walking away entirely. The 11th principle is one the ambitious often forget. Do not pursue an enemy who simulates flight. Not everything that retreats is defeated. Not every opportunity that seems to escape is worth chasing. Some pursuits lead us into traps, into exhaustion. The strategist knows when to stop chasing and when to hold ground. The 12th principle returns us to self-awareness. If you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. Sun Tzu repeats this theme because it is essential. Self-knowledge is not a one-time achievement. It is a practice. Every day, you change. Every experience reshapes you. Keep studying yourself. Keep questioning your assumptions. The 13th principle speaks to the power of intelligence. What enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer is foreknowledge. In modern life, this means doing your research, understanding the landscape before you act, making decisions from information rather than impulse. The unprepared stumble into avoidable mistakes. The prepared move with precision. The 14th principle is uncomfortable, but necessary. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Leadership is not about control. It is about care. Whether you lead a team, a family, or simply yourself, compassion is not weakness. It is the foundation of loyalty, of trust, of lasting influence. The 15th principle concerns focus. There is no place where espionage is not used. Now, Sun Tzu meant this literally, but for us, it means something different. Pay attention. Observe. Notice patterns in your own behavior and in the world around you. The distracted miss everything. The observant see opportunities hidden in plain sight. The 16th principle addresses overextension. He who tries to, you cannot do everything. You cannot be everywhere. Choose your priorities with intention. Protect what matters most. Let go of the rest. Scattered energy produces scattered results. The 17th principle is a quiet truth. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Return to this again and again. Before you argue, ask if the argument is necessary. Before you compete, ask if competition serves you. Sometimes the wisest path is to step aside entirely, to let others fight while you build something lasting in silence. The 18th principle reminds us of perception. All men can see the tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. People will see your results. They will not see the countless hours of thought, the planning, the invisible work. Do not seek validation for effort that was never meant to be seen. Let your outcomes speak. The 19th principle is about courage. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. The first step is the hardest, but once taken, it opens doors you could not see before. Action creates clarity. Waiting creates doubt. Move forward, even when the path is unclear. The 20th principle speaks to unity. When the common soldiers are too strong and their officers too weak, the result is insubordination. Balance is essential. In your own life, this means aligning your actions with your values. When your habits conflict with your goals, chaos follows. When they align, progress becomes natural. And the 21st principle is perhaps the most important of all. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. This is not about hostility. It is about empathy. About understanding perspectives different from your own. The person who can see through another's eyes gains wisdom that the self-centered never access. These 21 principles are not a checklist. They are a compass. Return to them when you feel lost. Let them guide your decisions. Let them remind you that the battles worth fighting are rarely external. The real war is within, against distraction, against fear, against the version of yourself that settles for less. Sun Tzu did not write for soldiers alone. He wrote for anyone willing to think deeply, to act wisely, to live with intention. And now, the question is simple. Which principle will you carry with you tomorrow? Not all 21, just one. Let it guide a single decision, a single conversation, a single moment of stillness when you would normally react. That is how change begins. Not in grand declarations, but in quiet, deliberate steps. The path of mastery is long, but you have already started walking.